Greetings ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. I will be your host, Thrones, bringing you a series of role-playing builds focused around the weapon skill lines. My builds in a nutshell are role-playing builds intended specifically for a niche casual playstyle, questing around and all around normal content. It is in no way made for veteran content, it is not made to min-max, nor is it made for any type of difficult content or veteran dungeons. I will be covering all individual weapon skill lines as the core focus point of making a build work around it. However, keep in mind, it is not meta, non-min-maxed or anything of the sort. It is for pure fun purposes. In this build, I will be covering the Destruction Staff skill line on this High Elf, and I guess I will call it the Fargrave Thalmor. Yeah. Now, for the build. Right, for the race I did go with the High Elf purely because it is the most Magicka related, you know, lore-wise Magicka related race. You can go with Breton or whatever the heck you want. Honestly, it is any class, any race, any role. However, on this one I did go with the High Elf Sorcerer. The only reason why I went with the Sorcerer is because of the name called Sorcerer. I will be using all Destruction Staff skills, so I will not use a single one from the Destruction Staff skill, from any of the class skill lines. Also a disclaimer, at the beginning of the build I will cover a Oaken Soul type of build because I don't want to go with 2 bars, just to focus on the Destruction Staff ones. But yeah, I will also give some alternatives if you do not own Oaken Soul. I went with full Magicka, simple as that. For the Mundus stone I did go with the Apprentice one for the spell damage instead of but the better variant would be going with the Thief stone if you want to squeeze in a little bit more damage. However, this is a role-playing build and I just went with the Apprentice one for the sake of the name. For the buff food I usually go with the Witch Mother's Brew, but right now I forgot to take it in. For the gear, as I said, I did go with Oaken Soul, and yeah, that's it. It's really simple. You want to enchant it in spell damage, but I forgot to do it because I'm doing this in a fast pace. Anyways. For the second set, I did go, for the one piece, I did go with Slime Crown this one. However, you can go with Molokina one piece. Usually you can go with the shoulder piece instead of the helmet. It's really easy to get from the Orc Lady at the Undaunted, or whatever heck you want. Honestly, it's just the one piece if you go with the Mythic. However, if you go with the Monster set, you have a lot of options. But on this one, as I said, Oaken Soul for the main one. For the second set, I did go with Spider Cultist. It drops from Fungal Grotto 1 and 2. And the 5-piece bonus gives a 600 weapon and spell damage to your Destruction Staff abilities. It is limited only to your Destruction Staff abilities, hence why I'm only using Destruction Staff abilities on my bar. The second set, I am going with Red Eagle's Fury again, as I did on my Sovereign Guard quote-unquote hero. And it also gives you weapon and spell damage to your weapon skill abilities. This does scale to all of your weapon abilities, and I think I will be using it on every single one of the series build, which is linked to weapon skill lines. I'm using it for Fire Staff. I did go with the Precise trait on this one. Maybe I will go with the Nirnhound, I have no idea. For the enchants you want magic on everything and spell damage on the jewelry. But yeah, I forgot to enchant it. I will probably do it later on. For any alternatives, yeah, let's go to the alternatives of the skill. For the skills, as I said, everything is Destruction Staff skills. Not a single one from the class one, but you can play around the slot and whatever the heck you want. For the first one I did go with Flame Reach instead of the other morph because this one gives us safe damage over time rather than the knockback you get from a Fire Staff. The Lightning variant I think gives you a stun or AoE burst thingy, but I really don't care about that because this is not by spammable, it is another DOT. The second ability is Force Pulse. This is really easy to, you know, it's just spammable, it deals fire damage, it deals frost damage, it deals shock damage, really simple. For the third ability is Flame Pulsar, it is a AoE spammable. I will be using this against, or you will be, or yeah, never mind. It is used for a lot of trash pulls, and it also afflicts enemies with minor mangle, reducing their max health by 10% for 10 seconds. So yeah. Unstable Wall of Fire, this is our ground AoE ability, and burning enemies take more damage from this ability. That's it, it explodes also, so yeah. And the last one is Elemental Drain. It gives us Magicka Steel, minor Magicka Steel, and gives us basically Magicka back every 1 second, and it also inflicts a major breach on enemies, which reduces their physical and spell resistance by X amount of, well, resistance. For the ultimate, I did go with Fiery Rage. It is the best, quote-unquote, damage one. It deals like, I don't know, 10,000 damage every 1 second for 7 seconds. It's really strong as hell. You can go with the other morph if you want more aesthetics. You basically Eye of the Storm. It makes you the center of everything. If you combine it with Flame Pulsar, you will not have any problems with any ad pulls. However, this is a role-playing build, so I really don't care about that. Now, for the other variant, I did mention if you don't want to go with an Oaken Soul build, if you don't have access to it or whatever, you can always go with the Spider Cultist 3rd Ring or Red Eagle 3rd Ring, but I think it's more cost efficient if you farm for the Spider Cultist in Fungal Grotto 1, which is really easy to clear out. Fungal Grotto 2 is just a little bit harder, just a tiny little bit harder, but it's not a problem. You can replace the monster set with going 2 full sets, basically Spider Cultist and Red Eagle for the head and shoulder as well. So you will leave your weapons skills, basically weapon slots, and you can slot on Maelstrom on the back bar, definitely Maelstrom. There is no alternative in that one if you want to squeeze in a little bit more damage. Maelstrom Arena is from Rossinium, so you do have to have that DLC if you want to have the Maelstrom Arena. You can always, for the spammable, you can go with the Asylum, spammable destruction stuff, which, as you can see from the description, every second cast of Force Shock will always apply the burning, concussion, chilled status effect. The Force Shock cast must be made within 5 seconds, etc, etc. You can always try out maybe I don't know, you can actually try with the Master one as well. The Master Destruction stuff is mostly used in PvP, but they can be quite fun in PvE as well. It reduces the cost of your destructive touch by 10% and increases your weapon and spell damage by 600 for 4 seconds after activating it. So yeah, it can be quite powerful if you combine it with the right abilities. So yeah, you can maybe play around, maybe make a Ice Mage related to the destruction stuff skill. I'm going with an Ice Staff and just go Frost. Maybe if you go with the Warden, Fire one if you're a Dragon Knight. You can go with the Sorcerer if you're a Lightning Mage, Shadow Mage, I guess Fire, you go with the Fire stuff again. Go with the Nightblade, etc, etc. For the skills, if you do go with the double bar setup, I will recommend Unstable Wall of the back bar. I will try to sustain from using any of the class abilities, just for the roleplay purposes. Fire Rune definitely from the Mage skill line. You want to go with Scalding Root for the damage over time. You will need Entropy to give you, if we get rid of the Oaken Soul, we will get rid of a lot of buffs, so for that reason I will slot this one as well on the back bar, Entropy on the front bar, because for being slotted you will get more Magicka. The reason why I want Entropy is Degeneration, giving you Major Brutality and Sorcery at the same time. On the Major skill line you want Mage Light on both bars, which will you will morph into Inner Light that gives you even more Magicka for being slotted. Also, for being slotted, you gain Major Savagery and Major Prophecy on both bars. And for the last ability, you can also go, actually wait, let's go with this Meteorite, and I will go with the Shooting Star. I like the Shooting Star more from the Ice Meteor, unless you are a Warden. In that case, you probably want to go with the Ice one. And for the last skill, we can go with World, Soul Magic, and just going with Soul Trap, which also deals damage over time. And if we go with the Consuming Trap morph, it will give us health, magic, and stamina back per kill. That would be what I would do if I didn't have the Oaken Soul Ring or didn't want to go with an Oaken Soul Ring. This could do the trick quite well without using a single ability from any class. If you want to go with the class abilities, just experiment, play around, see what you want to do. However, I don't recommend it, considering the Spider Cultist and the Red Eagle do focus on giving your weapon skill line abilities a boost rather than anything else. If you want to boost anything else, you can maybe combine Red Eagle with Innate Axiom, or you can go with the Diamond set, maybe New Moon set. I don't know, you can play around with maybe Mother Sorrow and the Orders, the new Order set from the High Isle. It's also crafted, and combining those two will give you a really endgame result. But I will come back to the core of saying this is a role-playing build, and I really don't care about min-maxing and going full endgame. So yeah. For the CP, I didn't slot anything. Basically, more speed, movement speed. Well, but here I want to go with food, potions, food, speed, and mount speed. The reason I want to go with mount speed is basically, well, not mount speed, in between, you know, quests, it's really faster to go. On this one, you just want to slot in everything you can. Wrathful Strikes is your one. Let's just slot on these as well. Single target, definitely direct damage, single target here. And if you want to go with the area of effect because of your AoE and your wall of elements, this does scale off of that. However, you can also go with Fighting Furnace for more critical damage. Or if you really want, you can go with, if you're going with the lightning stuff, definitely recommend Exploiter. And if not, you can just go whatever the heck you want, maybe damage over time for your whatever. I will be going at the critical one on this one, because why not? As for the red one, health, armor, a little bit of this. I'm going with speed, because why not? And I'm going with the magicka per kill. Really simple build. You can, you know, slot on anything else you want. The more points you have, the better. You can have a little bit of passives here and there. But yeah. For the fashion, I did go with Fargrave light on everything. I really like the Fargrave aesthetics in this one, but I also went with the Shadowrend stuff to reflect that I am in core a sorcerer as a class. You can play around with your fashion. If you don't like the Fargrave one, you can always go with Angel Daedric, Sapiarch, anything basically mage related, so you can go with any single light armor you can. I would recommend going with something that's thematically closer to the race you're playing as. For example, if you're playing a Node, I definitely recommend going with a Node one, maybe Bloodforge, that one's more reach, Black Reach, light one, maybe the Annihilarch, I don't know how to pronounce that. Just play around, maybe going with the Celestial one, full on, if you want to go with the Mage one. So, yeah. But I did go with the Fargrave one. So yeah, thanks for watching. Now for the dungeon run with this build. I will be adjusting a couple of enchants after I cut out the session. So yeah, see ya.
We'll bury you in the sand. Burn it! Eat me! More! I need aid! Light it up! got past my men. Did Thariah put you up to this? She's still out there, isn't she? Kill these fools! Pathetic. I'll have to do this myself. You're tougher than I thought. Let's see how you handle this. Here it is. Cower before the rod of Kravari. This has more kick than I remembered. I hate. Time for a different approach. Awaken, my darling. I need you to wake and smash this rabble to pieces.